What is going on, guys? I hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to be talking about journaling. Okay, now journaling doesn't have to be really complicated. I remember when I was first starting and, I kind of was just coming around to the idea of, the value of journaling and stuff like that. I just really couldn't stand the idea of how much work I thought it was. I thought it was going to be all of this work. And the reality is it's actually not very difficult. Okay, and I'm going to show you how easy it is here. Okay, so let's say we had, a rough line up here, whatever. We had this drawn in here. Okay, we've seen that it's come down here before, and then we come into this area again, and we entered like this, and got out at our nearest support if we're scalping. In fact, let's go down and see what our entry would have been if we entered on the 1 minute, because we want it to be in our zone. Okay, so we can draw a rough kind of trend line there. Okay, perfect. So that would have been our entry right on the zone. We could have had our stop above the zone. 5 minute for target the next kind of area. That's not a one-to-one at least. So we want to target around these lows here. Okay. So let's just say, anyway, we take this, okay, and once we're done, we simply go up here to this camera icon, we click it, select copy, go over to the template. This template is going to be available below. Simply add it in. In fact, let me just get rid of these. You do not even need these really. You can add the date, follow plan. Yeah, okay. So then we go here, add the result. The result here is, what is it? 1.05R. 0.05R. If you type something in here and you wonder why it hasn't shown up, it's because it's in white. Because after I've written it in, I like to color it. So for example, if I'd done -1R, it doesn't show up. But then when I turn it red, it makes it kind of a little bit more visible and you can see it just at first glance. Okay, so that's what I like to do personally. Okay, and simply then you just put the pair in. Okay, you can put the date in if you want. Sometimes I just don't even put the date, because what I do is, let's just say that I trade up to this point down here. I will just leave sometimes a gap between the end of today and the start of tomorrow, and I will just kind of section it off day by day. Or if it's more of a day trading or swing type approach and you're not taking that many trades each day, maybe separate it by a week or even a month. Okay, and put like a little gap in between each. Okay, however you want to structure it, it depends, on what your preference is. But literally, those are the main things that you need. You can either put whether this follows your plan there and then. Although the problem with doing that is often when it's a win, you're going to be like, yeah, this followed my plan, and when it was a loss, you're going to be like, oh no, it didn't fit my plan, and it's going to be more of like a knee-jerk reflex reaction. But when you go back over it at the end of the week, when you're not as emotionally involved with that setup, you go back over them, you're going to be like, oh, did that actually follow my plan? And, these little things, when you go back over and you're going to be like, well, I don't know if this fit my plan, that is a sign that you need to have a clearer plan. So the importance of journaling is in the value that it gives you when you go back over it. Okay. It's not so much that you're just tracking on its own is kind of pointless. It's when you go back over it, which we'll be talking about in the next section, not the next section, the next video of this section, when we talk about self-review. Again, another process that seems really difficult, but it's really, really easy. Okay, so follow plan. In this case, let's just put, yes, this followed our plan, and operator notes. In fact, I'm also going to get rid of this. Okay, so let's just put this as notes. So in notes, I like to put something like, maybe some confluences that I found, maybe something that I found difficult, whether it's psychological or a question that's come up strategically. But I don't want to be putting like a paragraph for each of these. Some trades I don't even put notes down. I just want to put things that are on my mind sometimes, and maybe just kind of like clear up a few things, because then at the end of the week, I can go back over these and be like, okay, cool. This particular problem came up a lot. Like, do I need to look into this further, or is this just me being worried? Okay. And that's pretty much it. Okay. So let's just look at a few more examples. Let's say that we had a line down here. Had a kind of rough displacement zone here. Let's just say we got in after that and then targeted next area up here. Or we just went full cowboy and targeted up there. No, let's just use this. And so we can just simply copy this, go over to our template, add this in. I think that was about 1.2 R. If you don't know what R is, why I'm using R basically just means a multiple. Okay, and so I've got it in percent here, but I'm going to put it in R because if you have a 1 to 2 risk reward, if you have a 1 to 2 risk reward and that hits take profit, you have just made 2R. Okay, because it's 2 multiples of your risk. Okay, and so the good thing about doing this is because sometimes, you know, as a trader, you might lower your risk slightly, you might up your risk, you know, ever so slightly. This is going to help you just not have a really messy journal where, you know, even if you're sticking to a 1 to 2, you go from, you know, 2% to 4%. You know, it can be a bit confusing. Okay, whereas if you've got a multiple, you know, that's just telling you the multiple you've made and it's not focusing on percentages. So whether you've made 4R, 6R, or just 2R here, 2%, 2R, 2%, 4%, or 6%, it's going to say 2R regardless because it's 2 multiples of your risk. That's why I like using R. Okay, so very, very simple. Leave a little note. Maybe you're like, okay, broke trend line, first touch in zone, 1 minute break of trend line, felt calm, but hesitated on entering this. Simple, just something like that, nice and simple, is going to be absolutely fine. Okay, so that is pretty much it. Very, very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. You can see that after you've entered, literally this takes, you know, under a minute. Really, really doesn't take very long. Okay, and the real power is going to come in the next step, which we're going to get into in the next video. So thanks for watching and I'll see you there.